So today we will have a new lecture that is will talk about the development of the head and neck. And this is the sixth lecture. Okay, so the development of the head and neck is actually starts in the fourth and fifth weeks of the embryonic development. Okay, and the most characteristic or distinctive feature in the development of the head and neck is the presence of a structure that we call it pharyngeal arch. Okay, so I don't mean pharynx right here, but the structure itself is called pharyngeal arch. So the arch appear in the fourth and fifth weeks of development. That means in the end of the first month of the pregnancy. So this structure will contribute in the characteristic external appearance of the embryo. So the appearance of the embryo will uh, will rely on the pharyngeal arch that will differentiate into the different structures and bones that is found in the head and neck, and this is include the bones that is found in the face. Okay, so uh, as you see right here, this is the structure of pharyngeal arch. Okay, this is the structure of pharyngeal arch. إذا احنا المختصر المفيد بالعربي إنه احنا عندنا structure هو اسمه pharyngeal arch، وهذا الستراكشر هو راح خلينا نقول يكون الميزة المهمة اللي راح خلينا نقول شلون صدق صعب بالعربي نشرحها. اوكي اللي راح تكون الهيد and neck. ايش عندنا بالهيد ونيك؟ طبعا هذا include brain, skull, and also the bones that is found in the face, and this is include the neck. okay, إذا أنا قلت لكم pharyngeal arch ما راح يجي بالكم إنه pharynx فقط، لا طبعا كل structure الموجود هو في الهيد and neck. okay, so هذا شو وقت يبين عادة يبدأ يتكون هو في fourth and fifth weeks of development, since we have the three germ layers that is include ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. So the head and neck can start to form. Okay. Okay. So the structure, I mean the pharyngeal arch, is just like this one, and it includes some components inside it, and the layers, I mean the three germ layers that will be specialized in every arch. Okay, كل arch راح يكون له وظيفة خاصة في تكوين جزء خاص من الهيد and neck. Okay, pharyngeal arch هو structure يتكون من components. Okay, components and زائدا structures. Okay, so the components is usually to support the arch، لأنه يحتاج إنه يكون عنده supportment حتى شو يصير، حتى يتميز إنه يصير differentiation. زين. second عنده structureات خاصة اللي هي عبارة عن pharyngeal pouch and pharyngeal clefts. تمام. زين. أول شيء نجي على supportment. Since you know, if we need to support something, we need artery and nerve with some cartilage. Why? Because right here we are forming, or it will form some bones, cartilage, and we need nerve, we need arteries. Okay. And another thing, the structure itself will have some other more structure that will specialize into the parts that is found in the face and the head and neck. Okay. Let's come, first of all, we see that the arch can be defined as the entire structure. Each arch contains similar arch components. مثل ما قلنا كل arch يحتوي على component متساوي يعني متشابه. Okay? Derived from what? من إيش هو يتكون؟ يتكون من endoderm, mesoderm, neural crystals, and ectoderm. Neural crystals is a kind of ectoderm cells that have the ability to migrate. يعني عنده قابلية إنه طبعا هو من إيش إجا من ectoderm. تعرفون النيورال ectoderm كانت، هاي الخلايا اللي هي neural crystals عندها قابلية إنه تهاجر إلى مناطق مختلفة وتكون خلايا متخصصة في مختلف أنحاء الجسم. But right here we have endoderm, mesoderm, neural crystals, and ectoderm in order to form the head and neck. Okay, so every arch اللي هو هذا arch number 1, arch number 2, 3, 4, and we have 5 and 6 that are fused. Actually, we just focus on 4th of it. So endoderm, mesoderm, neural crystals, and ectoderm, they are the origin for the formation of the different structures in the head and neck. And we have every arch have its own nerve, vascular supply means the artery and cartilage. Okay, so if I ask you the origin of the arch, or from what the arch are formed, you can answer endoderm, mesoderm, neural crystals, and ectoderm. Okay, what about the components, the other components that is found in each arch? You're gonna answer nerve, vascular supply, and you can say the artery and also the cartilage. واضح؟ زين. نجي على مصطلح آخر اللي هو موجود. نعم. اللي arch صح؟ تمام. arch. اوكي arch هو نفسه pharyngeal arch. شنو هو structure يحتوي على محتويات خاصة به متكاملة حتى انه يكون اجزاء في الرأس، او خلينا نقول يكون الرأس والعنق. اوكي، head and neck. each arch طبعا بما انه هو عنده خلينا نقول مستقل في تكوين الهيد and neck، يحتاج على انه يكون عنده منشأ، او انه يكون عنده بعض الخلايا اللي يقدر يكون من عندها اجزاء من الرأس، اللي مثل اندوديرم، ميزوديرم، نيورال كريستالز، واكتوديرم. هذه الاربع طبقات، خلينا نقول 3 طبقات، والخلايا النيورال كريستالز تنطي له قابليه على انه يقدر يكون اجزاء من الوجه او الراس والعنق. تمام، هذا كانه خلينا نقول البلوكات اللي يكون بيها. تمام، خلينا نقول هذا هو البلوك للبناء. زين، شو يحتاج بعد؟ شنو اللي نحتاجه انه يكون متواجد بكل ارش حتى يقدر يكون اجزاء من الراس والعنق؟ يحتاج الى artery ونيرف وكارتليج مثل المي والسمنت. تمام، حتى انه يقدر ينطي له سبلاي لاجزاء ويكونها ويطورها. تمام، واضحه؟ اذا اسالكم هسه، اذا اسالكم what is the origin or what is the layers that is found in the arch, you're going to answer endoderm, mesoderm, neural crystals, and ectoderm. So what are the components that can found in each arch? You're going to answer nerve اعصاب. ليش؟ لانه احنا مثلا كل جزء بالوجه خلينا نقول على سبيل المثال يحتاج nerve ويحتاج artery ويحتاج cartilage، صح ولا لا؟ زين، نجي على الجزء الاخر اللي هو clefts. خلونا نكمل اللي هو الجزء الثاني، البارت الثاني اللي هو اسمه clefts. تمام، او المصطلح الثاني اللي نحتاجه هو clefts. What is cleft؟ احنا راح يصير عندنا مصطلحين، cleft pouch اللي هو موجود بايش؟ اللي هو موجود بstructure pharyngeal arch as a whole. Okay, so what is cleft؟ نشوفوها pharyngeal cleft هذه. Okay, so pharyngeal cleft is externally separates each arch. This is the separation from outside. Okay, and we usually call this separation as pharyngeal cleft. طبعا هذه جدا مهمة. You're gonna see that these clefts will form structures in the face and head of the neck. Okay, so what about from internally? I mean, the separation happen internally in each arch. We call these separations from inside pharyngeal pouch. هذه الصورة مهمة أجيبها وأشر عليها وأسألها. تمام. So we have pharyngeal arch. Okay. Each has artery, nerve, cartilage, and separated from inside by pharyngeal pouch, and separated from externally and from outside by pharyngeal clefts. Look, this is first pharyngeal arch. This is the second one. This is the third one, fourth one. Okay, we have inside you're gonna see. We didn't write it right here, but I will mention about it that the pouch internally separates each arch, and the endoderm within the pharyngeal pouch, it means from inside, internally, becomes specialized, and eventually this will all form the structures in the neck and face, as I said in the cliffs. Okay, from inside, in the ground of this pharyngeal arch, it is lined by mesenchyme tissue. Okay, especially in the fourth arch. Okay, and as you see, we have ectodermal epithelium. Okay, and endoderm epithelium from inside. Okay, so let's come to the pharyngeal arch and its specialization. The derivatives of the pharyngeal arch. So we have pharyngeal arch number 1, 2, 3, and 4 together. We will see that will form the neck structure. Okay, while the other, the fifth and sixth, it's not mentioned, but we will mention about 6 that can form some other parts in the neck. Okay, so you need to memorize each of this one. So pharyngeal arch number 1, we usually call it mandibular arch. Okay, pharyngeal arch number 1, this one, this one, we usually call it mandibular arch, and this will have two prominences. Okay, we call it smaller upper, or we call it maxillary prominence, and larger lower mandibular prominence. Okay, and the maxillary forms the maxilla, zygomatic bone, squamous part of the temporal, while the mandibular one, the larger lower prominence, forms mandible. Okay, look, pharyngeal arch number 2, we call it in another term as a hyoid arch, and this must form the most of the hyoid bone. Arch number 3 and 4 forms the neck structure. Okay, the neck structures generally, I didn't mention especially. So the cartilaginous component of the fourth and sixth pharyngeal arch, look, this is the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth one. We said that the fifth and sixth are fused, and usually not mentioned, but the sixth one, generally, right here, can form the thyroid. Okay, the thyroid. So you need to know all of this, and I will ask you one by one. Okay, I will ask it. For example, pharyngeal arch number 1 has two prominences. Okay, it's called mandibular prominence. True, one of these prominences is called mandibular prominence, or larger lower that form mandible. Is it true or false? You can answer. If it's true, true. Okay. Pharyngeal pouch, as I said right here, look at here, pharyngeal pouch from inside. تشوفوها pharyngeal pouch. وقلت لكم راح تكون أجزاء متخصصة البوتش نفسه. فراح نشوف هنا إنه pharyngeal pouch number 1 elongates to form tympanic recesses, tympanic cavity, eustachian tube. This is all related with the ear. Okay. While pharyngeal pouch number 2 forms the palatine tonsils. Okay, while pouch 3 will form inferior parathyroid and thymus. Form superior parathyroid. This is the number 4, and it will form the superior parathyroid. هاي لازم تحفظوها طلاب، لازم تعرفوها. Okay. The last one is we'll talk about the clefts. And the most important you need to know about it is the dorsal part of the first cleft will penetrate the underlying mesenchyme and will give rise to external auditory meatus. Okay, look, as you see that right here, the pharyngeal pouch number 1 will form tympanic recesses, tympanic cavity, eustachian tube, and also the cleft itself is related with the auditory system, the ear itself, that it will form the external auditory meatus. And also the epithelium that is lining the bottom of the meatus will participate in the formation of eardrum. Okay, so the epithelium that is lining the meatus, I mean the external auditory meatus, will participate in the formation of eardrum. Okay, so look at here. This is another figure for pharyngeal arch, and as you see, showing you how this will form. Look, the pouch with the clefts. So we have the tympanic cavity forming in the number one, I mean the pharyngeal pouch number one, and auditory tube, external auditory meatus formed by first cleft. Okay, and palatine tonsil by second pouch. Okay, parathyroid gland, and do not look to the cervical sinus. I will just ask you about what is mentioned in the written part. يعني راح أسألكم الصورة اللي موجودة هنا، كل اللي أنتم مطلوبين منها إنه اللي ذكرتها بالمكتوب فوق. أوكي، يعني اللي ذكرتها هنا just right here. I will ask you in the figure in the exam. اوكي، العملي راح اجيب لكم عن اكثر صور بالنسبه الامتحان العملي مو الاعمال. تمام، فركزوا على الصور اللي هي مطلوبه من عندكم وانا ذكرتها من قبل. So look at here, the thymus, parathyroid gland, and alternobranchial body is not asked. اوكي، فاللي انا بدي اذكرها حاليا هي اللي راح اسالكم عنها. Is talking about the development of the face. Okay, so the development of the face starts at the end of the 4th week. Okay, whenever the head is starting to form with the pharyngeal arch, the face itself will continue to form. Okay, so the facial prominences that we mentioned about it before, consisting primarily from mesenchyme. Okay, from mesenchyme. And this derived from neural crystals, and I mentioned about neural crystals, and I said is a kind of cells to migrate and be specialized to structures in the face and other structure. Okay, not in just in face, other parts of the body also, especially in the head, I mean, and formed mainly from the first pair of pharyngeal arch. Okay, this one the pharyngeal arch number 1 and 2, I mean especially the number 1 first pair, forming the prominences that will form the structures in the face. Okay, so the structures that will contribute to form the face are actually prominences، يعني هي بروزات. تمام، هذه البروزات راح تكون أجزاء في الوجه plus they will form other prominences، يعني بروزات أخرى في الفيس. تمام، so you need to memorize this one. Okay, so the prominence that is called frontonasal prominence will form forehead, bridge of the nose, and medial with the lateral nasal prominence. Okay, look at here. Look at here. I mean, this is the 5-week embryo, and this is the 6-week embryo. تمام. This is 5 week and this is 6 week. تشوفون 1 week difference, but it makes sense. Okay. يعني اكو اختلاف. تشوفوها شلون حتى العيون راح تنزل. So look. First of all, frontonasal prominence will form the forehead. This is the frontonasal prominence will form the the forehead, the bridge of the nose, medial and lateral. Look, lateral nasal prominence, and this is the medial nasal prominence. Look at here. Tamam. Then we will have maxillary prominence, as we mentioned before about it in the lecture number 6, and this will form the cheeks. Okay, the cheeks, lateral portion of the upper lip. Okay, the maxillary prominence will form the cheeks with the lateral portion of the upper lip, while the medial nasal, look, this is the maxillary prominence. This is the maxillary prominence, and this is the mandibular prominence. Tamam. So maxillary prominence will form the cheeks with the lateral portion of the upper lip, while the medial nasal, look, medial nasal, this one, medial nasal prominence will form philtrum of the upper lip, crest, and the tip of the nose. Okay, tip of the, look at here. This will be the lateral nasal prominence, medial nasal prominence. As we see, it will form the philtrum. Look, philtrum of the upper lip with the crest and the tip of the nose. And the last one is mandibular prominence. Mandibular prominence will form the lower lip, and the lateral nasal will form the alley of the nose. Look at here the difference that will happen from fifth week of embryonic development. This is the sixth week. The prominences will be forming week by week. There will be uh, a difference, as you see. Look at here from sixth week, and this one, I mean, let's say at the end of the third week. Okay, not third week, sorry, third month. Okay, so you can see that there is a distinctive differences right here, and the philtrum is formed with the nasolacrimal groove, as you see by the prominences, as I mentioned it before. So شلون راح أسألكم هذه الصور مسؤولين عنها تماما. اوكي، راح نكتفي بهذا القدر، ما راح أكملها. الأسبوع الجاي إن شاء الله راح نكمل tongue and development of the palate.